Hello everyone, today our presentation is about Daphne Light Asset Transformation Program. My name is Dongshu Chen, and these are the names of our team members. This is the catalog of our presentation. Firstly, let me introduce the roleplay of this commercial presentation. Professor Petrus is the big boss of the company. For our team members, we are employees in the project team. Now let's start with the first part, background. Daphne is a Taiwanese shoe brand founded in 1990. When Daphne was at its peak, it covered 20% of the female footwear market in mainland China. Daphne started working with e-commerce platform in 2006. Since 2010, Daphne switched to cooperate with an e-commerce platform called 药点 100 and cut collaboration with Tmall, Jingdong, and Webshop. Due to the poor risk management, Daphne's e-commerce business managed badly. The platform of 药点 100 went bankrupt in 2012 and resulted in massive losses for Daphne. However, since 2014, the era of e-commerce has fully exploded, and Daphne has not kept up with the progress of e-commerce, resulting in consecutive losses. During the first half of 2020, the net margin for Daphne is negative 66.6%. This time, we design an asset-light transformation program that Daphne changes to online operation, and we will do better risk management jobs. We hope to achieve the following three objectives by conducting this transformation plan. Firstly, save operating costs by closing most of the physical stores. Secondly, clean up off-season inventory. And finally, return to profitability in 2021 and increase operating efficiency in the long term. In order to realize our corporate objectives, we can adopt risk management as a technique to recognize, control, or avoid some threats in advance, which may have adverse effects on our transformation program. Firstly, make sure that risk management is consistent with and serve corporate objectives. Secondly, reduce and eliminate harmful impacts associated with this transformation program. Thirdly, provide high-quality products to customers, and finally, increase the productivity and stability in short term. Now let's move to the next part, identification. According to the transformation plan, we recognize some risks that have to be particularly dealt. There are some main risks, including human resource risks, business process risks, financial risks, reputational risks, operational risks. These main risks consist of some sub-risks. And who should be responsible for these risks? The main risk owner is the Chief Executive Officer of the company. Sub-risk owners include Chief Customer and Commercial Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operating Officer, shareholders of company, and Board of Directors. The sources and symptoms of these risks are shown in the below diagrams. Firstly, human resource risks. It includes 5 sub-risks. Firstly, employment risk. The source of this risk is ineffective training to staffs and inappropriate interview to new employees. The symptoms are staffs may not be familiar with e-commerce operation. Their performance may not match requirement of job duty, which leads to low working efficiency. Secondly, strike. Employees may feel dissatisfied with layoff. As a result, they express their dissatisfaction to local government and social media. They gather in front of the company and affect the normal operation of the company. Thirdly, low morale among employees. Staffs have no confidence to the company's transformation plan, so most staff take sick or late at work. Some employees have low working efficiency, and there are more gossip in social media and the internet. Firstly, outflow of senior managers and important personnel. The company has to lay off some staffs that are not familiar with e-commerce operation, and the staffs in company have no confidence to the company's future. The symptoms are long decision process, as the company lack experienced staff to make important decisions, and new managers may make wrong decisions as they are not familiar with the company condition. Finally, higher staff turnover. The sources of this risk are unfavorable working conditions and employees have no confidence to the company's future. The symptoms are staff resign from company, and there are a lot of complaints about company's transformation. The second main risk is business process risk. Firstly, impact service level, as customers cannot try on shoes or choose the color of the shoes themselves. They cannot enjoy service from shop assistants. The symptoms is Daphne may receive various complaints from customers. Secondly, low efficiency in operation. Unfamiliar with electronic operation model may decrease productivity. The symptoms of these risks are low working efficiency, and the growth of company earnings is not obvious in the short term. Thirdly, low barrier to entry. This industry will create many competitors. E-business has a good prospect. Many businesses want to develop its e-business, so customers can compare price, designs, and quality within different brands online. Firstly, the products may not correspond to the pictures that customers see online. Due to different shooting angles and lights, customers may receive products that are different from pictures that they see online. As a result, there are various complaints from customers. Next, after-sale problems may affect customers' loyalty. Staffs may not be able to respond to customers in time to help them solve after-sales problems. As a result, the company may receive various complaints. Finally, product logistics. The company cannot perform well in the product and warehousing logistics, so customers cannot receive their shoes in time. They have to wait for a long time, which leads to high refund rate.
Hello everyone, my name is Xinna. It's up to me to introduce the financial risk. First, the risk of the layoff employee pay. Since the work requirements of online operation is different from the form of the offline business, in order to reduce expenses, Daphne may lay off some employees of the offline business and give some compensation. This will increase the operating costs of the company. Then, there is the risk in the training new employees. It's necessary for the company to provide professional training for employees in e-commerce operation. This will also increase the company's operating expenses. The third risk comes from the purchasing new requirements for the e-commerce business. The development of the e-commerce requires specialized equipment, which will also raise the company's operating costs. The last one is the risk of huge operating expenses. The company needs to make a large investment in e-commerce marketing channels, including the advertising costs, sponsorship costs, and so on, which will also increase the company's operating expenses. Next is the reputation risk. This includes the transformation affect the company's reputation. As Daphne closes all the offline stores, customers may believe that Daphne has gone bankrupt and will no longer trust the brand, which eventually leads to no longer buying Daphne. It may also damage the brand image. Daphne's poor corporate social responsibility performance reduces the brand image. Daphne may also face a legal risk. First, confidential information disclosure. This can be demonstrated by customer privacy being reviewed by the employees, which can then lead to credit card fraud and financial loss. Then, the company could also face lawsuits from the dismissed employees. Laid-off employees complain about the company and the legal department. The last one is operational risk. This is a risk that the company could face a failed transition. This because the online model is not always accepted by customers. The third part is risk evaluation. Next, we evaluate the risks that have been identified, and based on the possible outcome of each risk, we create a risk matrix. We rated the risks based on its possibility and the severity. From the matrix, it can be known that based on the identified risk, we believe that after-sales service issue, low efficiency in operating, and high operating expenses will be the main risk. The inefficient operation of the online store is mainly reflected in the lack of the cooperation between the departments. The company is not familiar with the new operating model, and the management process is not perfect, which will lead to the economic losses. Moreover, excessive operating costs will result in the business expenses exceeding revenues. Poor handling of the after-sales service will cause customer dissatisfaction, no longer make secondary purchase, and finally business income declines. All these risks need to be avoided.
Hello, my name is Junyi Chen, and I'm going to introduce the step of select. According to the risk matrix, we identified 3 risks which are located on the upper right-hand side and must be eliminated or mitigated. And there were after-sales problem, low efficiency in operating and operating expenses. So before we consider the alternatives, we need to find out the root cause of each risk through the fishbone diagram. And now let's see each problem one by one. And firstly, for the after-sales problem, we developed the first level of fishbone by referring to 5 M's and 1 E approach. And we identified major factors that may involve in this problem. Then we brainstorm possible causes of the problem that may be related to the factor. For example, from the perspective of manpower, we think bad service attitude may be an issue for the company. Then we need to think about why employees behave like that. And the main reason may be the company does not organize enough trainings for their employees and tell them how to respond to customer questions or dissatisfactions. Also, in terms of materials, it is possible to occur quality problem or products are not inconsistent with the company's descriptions due to the insufficient supervision. The next problem is low efficiency in operating, and we use the same idea to identify the root causes of this issue. For instance, from the first level of method, we think there may occur inappropriate ways in operating due to the fact that they have little experience in online marketing or selling. And similarly, from the perspective of environment, we think there may occur low morale in the company because employees may be dissatisfied with some aspects, like they don't like their colleagues or boss, etc. And they may misunderstand with the layoff due to the lack of sufficient communication. The last problem is operating expenses. And from the perspective of manpower, we think there may be unnecessary human resources due to mismatch or outdated management concepts. And also with respect to materials, the company may spend a lot in storing high volume of raw material inventory if they misjudge the customer demand and the market trend. And now, after brainstorming, we recognized and summarized some similar root causes and listed as the following table. And we can see the risk 1 is lack of trainings, SOP, and effective communication. Risk 2, lack of supervision, responsibility, and awareness of management. Risk 3, little experience in contemporary online business operations. Risk 4, insufficient understanding of customer and the market. And the last one is the financial management and human resources management are not scientific and rigorous. And then we can take measures to address these identified root causes. For risk 1, we want to change it from risk avoidance to risk retention by organizing trainings regularly and develop SOP for all employees to read, learn, and practice. Also, we need to arrange meetings from top to down within the firm regularly to inform everyone the latest changes and details about the corporate objective and direction. And for risk 2, we reduce it through establishing reasonable rules in evaluating the performance of managers to reduce the probability of inactivity. And also we need to develop a reward system to inspire our staff to work proactively and make contributions to our company. Then we need to improve the standard in terms of accountability when recruiting new staff, especially managers, and educate them to be a responsible person. Likewise, we can reduce risk 3 by consulting and learning from experts or people who have successful experience in online business to have an insight in this field and avoid potential problems. Also, we can recruit talents and cultivate them for the company. For risk 4, we need to update and learn the latest information of the market and the industry to make responses in time. Besides, we need to pay attention to customers' feedback, including their comments, complaints, and appraises. And lastly, we need to develop an actionable plan and document day-to-day expenses to establish and control the budgets for each area of the business. And we need to improve the hiring process at every beginning to ensure that everyone is in the right place. Also, we need to educate our employees and develop their professional and personal skills.
Hello everyone, I'm Ruhui Jiao. This part is implement. Here is the action timeline. The entire timeline is 1 year, starting on April 11th, 2021 and ending on April 11th, 2022. Based on the actions mentioned in the last part, we have summarized 6 items. Item 1, improves hiring process and hiring new employees. Human Resources Department and department heads are responsible for designing a new recruitment process, arrange recruitment matters and hiring new employees from April 12th to July 31. Item 2, organize trainings for staff regularly. It will be held once every 2 months. In this item, department heads have to design training program, implement training program, and assessment with staffs from April 19th to May 5th. Item 3, consult and learn from experts in online business area. Making appointments with experts and consulting will be executed by department heads between April 12th and 16th. Item 4, improve performance evaluation, reward and punishment mechanism. Human Resources Department has to design related system and implement from April 19th, 2021 to April 11th, 2022. Item 5, improve customer feedback collection system. IT department and sales department are responsible for designing new customer feedback collection system and implementing respectively. The timeline for designing is April 12th to 24th. Implement is from April 25th to April 11th. The last one is forming a new actionable expense plan to control budget. Finance department and other departments have to form a new budget plan from April 12th to May 12th, and implement will be executed from May 13th, 2021 to April 11th, 2022. For everyone to know the timeline more clearly, we made a Gantt chart here.
The sixth part is evaluations and what if. We will continue to monitor the implementation of actions to ensure that they have the desired effect and will take new emergency measures when necessary and will continue to improve them. We will adopt the following two systems for risk monitoring. The first one is regular risk review meetings. The second one is the emergency event reporting system. If definite risk management does not achieve the desired result, we can also take the following methods. The first is strategy alliance. Definitely looking for the same type of companies to form strategy alliance. They can learn the new operating technicals, share the risks and costs, and the companies to improve the competitiveness. The second approach is to look for the business mergers and acquisition. If Daphne can find the appropriate acquirer, Daphne may be able to reduce the barriers and the risk to business development, access to capital, and better growth.
The last part is conclusion. Here is the cost-benefit analysis. According to Daphne's financial statements and our forecast, we estimated the cost of items we plan to take actions are 19.5 million. The detailed amounts are shown in the table. And we predict, compared with 2019, in 2021, the sales revenue will increase 50%. That is 1,063 million. So the net benefit of the risk management is 1,043.5 million. Since during the process of transformation, Daphne will save operating costs by closing most of physical stores and clean up off-season inventory. So we minus redundancy cost, loss on termination of leases, loss on cleaning up off-season inventory from net benefit of the risk management, and add employee benefits expense, operating costs saving by closing physical stores, and inventory costs saving by cleaning up. The total benefit is 1,258.5 million. According to the finance statement in 2019, the loss for the year is 1,096 million, which is less than the net benefit we predict. So, in 2021, Daphne will return to profitability. In conclusion, for light asset transformation, online sales are the general trend. Daphne must follow the trend of the times and actively develops online projects. For the risks in transformation, the uncertainty Daphne has in the process of switching to a light asset structure is inevitable. For risk management in the project, according to the cost-benefit analysis, Daphne could return to profitability in 2021. The result is in agreement with the company's financial goal of turning losses into profits. The risk management is effective. Critical and important risks can be mitigated, and unimportant risks can be avoided. Daphne can be successful in the process of transforming by following our risk management steps. And in the process of transformation, possible risk issues have to be evaluated and predicted in time. The timeline should be strictly followed, and whether the actions are effective should be regularly reviewed. That's all. Thanks for your listening.